something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, peaches! Oh, welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listener.
Ho there, listeners.
Cross the streams there, listeners.
Yes,
it turns out it's
indeed.
fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's completely fine.
I mean, it might blow up the top of a building,
Yeah.
but it might save all of reality, so it's perfectly
Yes,
fine.
indeed. The event horizon is here, everyone. Listeners, cross the streams, and let's move this realm into the next dimension. The Vlist mentioned.
Yes.
Where everyone is listeners, and everyone is a big fan of this podcast, and if they're not, they are either informed of our show to assimilate or destroyed.
That sounds like utopia, Jay.
Yes, indeed. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yep. If you want to get rich, start a cult. Am I right? Up top.
Wait,
Woo!
what?
Happy Halloween! Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fix It. I'm Jay. That's Adam. You may know us as the absolute best YouTube reaction channel on the entirety of the internet, Previewed. You may know us as the person who is haunting your lake house upstate. That's right.
Is that what the lake house was about?
Ooh, spooky. Yeah.
The Keanu Reeves film?
Yeah, just part-time haunting.
Oh,
You know?
it's blue collar work. Someone's got to do it.
Look, someone's got to do it, and it's it's a gig economy.
You got to get those boo bucks.
You got to get those boo bucks, and I can just log in on my phone. I can do it at my own time,
I'm just going to go ahead and just move this furniture around a little bit. Just a couple inches.
5 stars, please. Tipping is not mandatory, but it's appreciated. Oh. We also will deliver you food.
Because we have to, man. It's also
yeah.
Uber Eats. Surprise.
Yeah. Boober. Uber for ghosts.
Right about Boober Eats?
Yeah, Boober Eats, man. Ghosts don't eat food. Right?
Slimer sure does.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah.
He can put it away.
He sure can. Today, this is our show, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just missed its proton pack shot, and we fix it. And this week we are fixing 1989's Ghostbusters 2.
The pretty good sequel to Ghostbusters.
The pretty good sequel to Ghostbusters. The movie that it was... The franchise that was a total runaway hit for reasons that I don't think the people who initially made the movie really understood why it was such a runaway hit.
Nope, nobody did.
It's buck wild to me that we never got a third one. This was the last installment of the prime Ghostbusters in a way.
Sure. Well, technically there was a video game. A very good game.
Okay, yes.
That was written by Harold Ramis
I understand.
and Dan Aykroyd.
I understand. It's buck wild to me.
You're right.
It's buck wild to me that that's the version in which we got it.
I'm just happy that we got it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I haven't played it.
It's crazy to me that we never got a third. There was no trilogy of Ghostbusters movies.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. The way that it is one of the it is probably it's in the Hall of Fame of recognizable IPs.
Yes.
And they just made 2 and kind of dipped. It's fascinating.
I'm sure Brian can tell us more about that in his Bean Facts.
He will definitely be telling us more about that in the Bean Facts, because I just don't. Now, is this movie is this movie bad? No.
It's not at all bad.
It's fun. It has got some really iconic and fun moments.
True.
Vigo is really cool. It's at least cinematic. Do you know what I'm saying? That picture is striking. It's kind of fun. And there were some fun, memeable moments there.
I mean, I still quote the movie to this day.
In which way?
You about the buzzing of flies to him.
Yes, you do say that quite a bit. It's really, yeah. It's but it's not great.
No, I remember being very disappointed when I was a kid seeing it.
Still made a ton of money though.
It did make a decent amount of money.
So like that, I guess that's where I get frustrated. But
I appreciate it more now after on the rewatch. It's like, oh, this is way cleverer than I realized as a kid. There's a lot of really good comedy in this movie.
Yes.
That I just didn't get as a kid.
Yes.
Much like the first one. But like, oh no, the setup and payoffs, the setup and punchlines are very good in this film.
Yeah. But before we get deep in the sauce of Ghostbusters 2, let's move on to my absolute favorite segment of,
If you
of
had
the
to
show,
pick
Fix
only
It.
one,
It's the most slap goblin approved of all aspects of Fix It. It's the part. It's a roll for convo, where Adam and I we have 20 conversation starters on Adam's little computer over there, and I'm going to roll a 20-sided die to figure out what we're going to chit-chat about before diving into our main subject of the day.
and Jay is using a 20-sided die that we got at Comic-Con.
Yes, indeed.
Last weekend.
And for those of you who came to PeachCon,
last weekend.
it was a huge success. It was
this is
really,
the
really
first
fun.
episode since PeachCon.
Yeah,
Yo, guys, PeachCon.
it was really fun.
It totally worked.
Yeah, the beta test was a huge success. There will be more because if anything, we just needed to prove to ourselves that we could do it, and we did. And I was really nervous about it, but it panned out.
Yes.
All right,
was.
here we go.
Ooh,
I
can
got
you read
a-
that new dice?
A gentleman's 3.
A gentleman's 3. Ooh. Okay. Favorite TV show of all time? Drama only.
Drama only. Oh,
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
what am I gonna say?
West Wing.
Yeah, it's West Wing. Yeah. Not even close. Not even close. Drama? Yeah, it's West Wing. Like, duh. Like, it's like not even. You're gonna come in here and tell me that there's a better choice?
I'm trying to think of a better choice
Yeah.
right now.
No. Yeah. President Bartlett? Come on. Toby?
Letting
Come
Bartlett
on.
be Bartlett?
Yeah, let Bartlett be Bartlett?
Well.
Come on.
Well.
Leo? Come on. Sam Seaborn? All our good friends.
Well.
Kimberly and I we call watching West Wing hanging out with our friends. Do you want to hang out with our friends? Yeah. Yeah, man.
Want to talk about 90s politics?
Oh, yeah, man. Dule Hill, come on.
Yeah.
Giving the best performance of his entire career. And the guy's a good actor, but like it's really hard to top like Charlie, dude, when he gives him the whole episode where he's trying to find the best carving knife, and then you find out at the very end that the reason that he's running around Charlie trying to find the best carving knife for Thanksgiving, like a Thanksgiving turkey, is that the reason he needs to buy a new one because he is giving Charlie, I'm tearing up even talking about it, when he's giving Charlie his family, the family heirloom that is their turkey carver. And he's like, this is silver, sir. He's like, yeah, and like, I don't understand. Like, and there's at the bottom, there's like a symbol I don't recognize, and it's a PR. It's like, yes, it's from a local silversmith, Paul Revere, and it's just like, this is the best show of all time. I love this show. Oh my god. Yeah, it's so good, man. It's the best. It's the best. What are you gonna say?
Jag.
Bro, you're gonna come at that is the most Adam Lash thing you have ever that is it's like I can't even, that's the flavor. Like if you distill down what just happened, that's Adam Lash to me. Jag. Present your argument for Jag, sir.
The best
Approach
TV
the bench.
show of all time being drama only. How good was this show, Jay? This show, Jag, is the show that created NCIS.
Okay.
That
So
then-
are you going to sit here and
that
tell me
went
that NCIS is the best show of all time?
No. But NCIS went on for, I think it's at like 20 seasons
Still on
now.
TV, I
it's
believe.
still going on right now.
Yeah.
The first team is well gone.
Yeah.
But that's also spawned how many different NCIS shows based at different naval bases around the country? I think there's 4 NCIS shows.
Sure.
All of those shows originated because Jag was so good.
Yeah.
Is it better than West Wing? Of course not.
No.
But that show was good enough that went for like 9 seasons to be spun off into so many more shows.
Okay. I'll give you that. Who's your favorite character on Jag? I don't even.
I think it was Bud.
You could literally make Bud. What's his discerning characteristics?
He was you, Bud.
What? Oh, he's me?
Yeah.
I'm on that show?
He's the
Where
you.
are my residuals?
He's the you of that show.
Oh, okay. Oh, dude. I'm just telling you. If I ever book a procedural television show, if I ever book a procedural show
Sure.
in which I can just be the lab tech,
Yeah, I know.
it's like kind of wacky and weird, I will ride that show until the wheels absolutely fall off.
You'll keep re-upping that contract.
Oh, crabsolutely. I'm going to tell the showrunners, you are going to have to kill my character, and I will not die quietly. I'm just letting you know I am in.
Sure.
Whatever. I do not. Kimberly and I are watching through Bones right now, and that show goes off the rails so hard, but I respect how well that show is written for network television.
Sure, yeah.
To like stay on the air. Like we're at the point now where in Bones where they start like integrating like car product placement. Like where they're like on the way to like a case and having a conversation, be like, "Oh well, yeah, the Yaris does this." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" But also, bravo. You got to keep the show on the air, man.
Yes, there is a right and a wrong way of product integration into shows. Sometimes companies just say the line.
Bones comes.
Some is like, no, you can have
Bones
fun
comes
with it.
right up to the line there.
Yeah.
And just goes like it's as close as you can get without being inappropriate. It's
like just staring down the camera.
Yeah,
and it's like, we like Yaris. They paid us a lot of money. Get it.
Oh, dude, I love it. Yaris is the worst car name of all time.
It's not great.
It's not great. It's like Yaris. Yaris. Brad Wolf. Brad Wolf.
That's a joke you guys will get
Yep.
later.
Brad. Oh man, that was always a running joke with my dad. If someone had like a name or something was named as something that sounded like you were kind of just trying to not barf, he just couldn't help it. He was like, Brad Wolf.
Your dad?
Yeah, it's really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. It's really funny. It's really hilarious. I will say my guilty pleasure drama show.
Okay.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Oh, that show was great.
The first
show was
the wheels fell off pretty quick on that one.
very fast.
It was a victim of the writer's strike pretty hard.
Oh, is that
The
why
first
the end
one.
of the season started getting all wonky with like a brother trapped in Iraq or something?
Yeah,
like
it
that?
got
And
really
then,
it got really about not what they were doing. We were all really interested in them producing Saturday Night Live every week, and it really became about other stuff, and we were not interested in that stuff.
Well,
and they didn't do a good enough. They didn't have enough sketches.
That's what I was gonna say. 30 Rock and Studio 60 come out basically the same time. 30 Rock showed sketches.
Yes.
Just Studio 60 didn't
here's
show
the
any of them.
Here's the problem. 30 Rock had the ability to show sketches because the sketches being so bad was the joke. And so it's a lot easier to write a really stupid, silly one-liner bit.
Yes.
But like this was a serious show, and it was like, oh, not only are we're gonna have to hire a team of people to actually write us Saturday Night Live for every episode. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. But those first 3 episodes of that show are truly magnificent.
True, but I remember watching. It's like, oh, because it came and went immediately. It was only 12 episodes. You couldn't find it anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think it showed up on like Netflix probably.
I bought it on
early
DVD.
days.
It's nowhere to be found. You can't find it streaming.
And like, I remember the pilot episode or episodes, because it was a 2-part or just one.
Yeah.
Where it's about the sketch that legal does not want them to do, and I was like, oh wow, what's the sketch? You never find out.
Yeah.
They never show it. I was like, oh, this is good, but
I love that show.
But yeah, I see the flaw here.
The show really inspires me. Like really inspires me. Yeah. Really
that's
does.
great.
No one writes a better pilot than Aaron Sorkin. You can say what you want about Aaron Sorkin. I know he's not, he's people have a lot of opinions about that dude, but the pilot of The Newsroom is maybe one of the best pilots ever written. Full stop. It just doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, I like Newsroom too.
God, I loved that show. That show could come back. Kimberly and I just watched through it when that was like one of our shows during the baby. Like when the baby, like when we were like really just like when she was on maternity leave, and that was like baby time,
Sure.
like serious baby time,
We're not doing this for fun
Getting
anymore.
a black belt in baby. Yeah.
What belt do you have right now, Jay?
Triple black belt.
Triple black belt?
Yeah, dude.
You achieved triple
man.
black belt in baby in...
Man, my comedy brain is trying
5
to
months?
is trying to map karate onto raising a baby, and all I'm coming up with is like, yeah, I can karate chop my baby in half, and that's not it. That's aggressively not it.
You could crest and kick it.
No, just like, so you know how like your comedy brain is like, how do we map this onto this? And
Sure.
it's like, no, that's not elegant at all. But
You've
I
got-
guess it technically works.
You've got... you've mastered... I would say you're probably like a second stripe purple belt,
Yeah.
where you've learned a lot of the katas, but like the advanced moves you're still
Yeah.
working on them.
Well, yeah, I can get it. I can change a diaper while my baby's being a grade A wiggle bug. I
Sure,
think that'd
yeah.
probably get me that would get me one of my black belts.
We got not quite.
I think you don't understand the extent to which my baby can be a cute little wiggle bug. He's wiggling all over the place like a little wiggle bug.
like a little wiggle bug.
Wiggle bug. He's so cute. Do you want to see more pictures of my baby?
I've heard tales of his wiggleness, Jay.
He's so cute.
I have heard.
I love my baby.
That's good.
I would never karate chop him in half, but that's where your comedy brain goes.
You wouldn't?
No.
Even at like some point when he's maybe like 3 and he's kind of like playfully like, "Wah!" and you guys
Oh,
are
well, yeah, no,
fighting?
that's different. No,
And
no,
then
no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
you-
I'm just saying, you know.
Or are you prepared to beat the crap out of your toddler son in an imagination battle of when he's like, and
Oh,
then I shoot you
absolutely.
with a
Oh, yeah.
laser, and you go, well, I have a shield up, so
Like, oh, I absorb it and become even more powerful.
yes.
I am the energy eater. Yes.
Yes.
Feed me more.
I've been in a couple imaginary battles with kids, and it's like,
Yes.
I'm not letting you win.
You have lost in
I-
the battle, and your punishment is tummy raspberries.
Yeah. But then I like, oh, cool, and then I just do this.
Yeah.
It's just calmly,
Man.
just one-upping them
You ever
every
wrestling
time.
with your dad as a kid?
Oh, yes.
And you really thought you could win?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's a good time. I can't wait. I can't wait for him to get that age. Yeah. Anyways, Ghostbusters.
Talk about Ghostbusters?
Talking about Ghost. We should probably talk about Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Jag, how dare you? That's been Roll for Convo. So Ghostbusters, 1989. Ghostbusters 2, excuse me.
This is
Back
the
in the
sequel.
habit, right? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any other perfect name for a sequel, besides, that no one's expecting, it's like, oh yeah, the second one, Back in the Habit, right?
Yeah. I mean, so, I'm sorry. Like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Everyone's expecting an Electric Boogaloo, but
Yeah,
like you
man.
just come at them sideways with, oh yeah, Back in the Habit, dude.
Yeah.
They never expect Back
When
in the Habit.
Sister Act comes in and has a more effective sequel than Ghostbusters does, we have a problem in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They did. That was a good sequel.
It's a great
That
sequel.
was a good sequel.
Yo, man. That movie rules. Let's just talk about that.
I haven't seen it, Jay. So
Wait, you never seen Sister Act 2?
I think maybe I've seen it, but
With Lauryn Hill? Bro! We'll come back to that later. We don't have time to talk about that. We got to talk about Ghostbusters. Brian's sitting at the editing computer being like, what are you guys doing?
I said keep it snappy. Snap to it. Get to the beat facts already, you guys.
Speaking of
TikTok!
beat facts, let's before we jump into Ghostbusters 2 Back in the Habit, let's go to our wonderful producer Brian. He's the best guy in the world who also happens to be just one step away from damnation. Our producer Brian, why don't you tell us all we need to know about Ghostbusters 2 when you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here. And today we ain't afraid of no ghosts, so we're fixing 1989's Ghostbusters 2. Written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, and directed by Ivan Reitman, it stars Ramis, Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Annie Potts, Rick Moranis, and Peter MacNicol. This sequel made $215.4 million on a $40 million budget. Now, some fun bean facts. The behind-the-scenes conflicts for this movie are well documented. Budget issues, scheduling problems, unanimous approval by all the co-creators. All of these added to the delay of this movie. Now, while it made a lot of money, the original Ghostbusters was the highest grossing comedy of all time at that point. So it was a disappointment to the studio when Ghostbusters 2 didn't meet their expectations money-wise. Ivan Reitman is on record as blaming Batman as audience wanted something darker and more cynical, which Ghostbusters 2 didn't deliver on. Now, a ton of sequel discussions were had, but at the end of the day, the actors' ages, schedules, Murray's hesitancy to participate, and agreeing on a script kept it from happening. As Adam mentioned, there's a video game that continued the story, as well as the animated series, The Real Ghostbusters, which I loved. Then, of course, you had the Paul Feig film, and the official sequel, Afterlife, with another one on the way. If you care, Ghostbusters 2 has a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm still not over Jag. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Brian.
Good, decent, adequate job, Brian.
Adequate. Yeah, great job. Great job.
There was a lot of information there.
There was a lot of information there.
There was a reason why the next Ghostbusters film we got was almost 30 years later.
Yeah.
Weirdly. It was a crime.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2.
Wow. Yeah, really. Yeah, you just had to bring that one up. I went down like a little mental rabbit hole. I was like, I didn't hate that. That's not what we were here to talk about. We're not here to talk about that movie.
You know, I still haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's there are. I will say, just for the literacy of the world of Ghostbusters, you should see it just to have a comment on it.
Oh, sure. I mean,
not
at some
saying
point
you
we'll
would
do it on the
enjoy it.
show, but like I still haven't seen it yet.
There are certain aspects of it that I think are really fun. I think that everyone involved does the best they can considering what they had to work with in front of them.
Sure.
Anyways, Ghostbusters 2. Back in the habit.
Ghostbusters 2. Oh, boy.
The fascinating thing about this movie.
Is that I have to do the plot drop first?
Oh, that's right, we do. You're
That is
right.
right.
You're right. You're
That
right.
is
You're right.
fascinating,
You're
Jay.
right. You're 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 right. Adam has to do the plot drop for everyone that maybe haven't seen the movie or it's been a while. Here we go. Describe the plot and do so with a smile. Adam, why don't you run through our absolute favorite segment of the show? Plot drop.
Okay, it's 5 years since the event of the first movie. A lot's changed. The Ghostbusters are completely out of business. They've been sued, and they've been sued by multiple organizations, and I think the city's like, you cannot operate at all in New York City.
Yeah.
So everyone's in a different spot. Dana and Peter broke up. Dana married somebody else, had a kid, and they divorced, like, I want to say moments after that baby was born.
Yeah.
Because that baby was, like, 6 months?
That baby's
8
about
months?
That baby seems like it's about the age of my baby.
Yeah.
Like 5 months old.
They clearly got divorced while she was pregnant. Like, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know how you divorce a pregnant woman, but sure.
I don't know.
Especially when that woman is Sigourney Weaver.
80 Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, everyone's in a tough spot. Dana's got a new kid, and the we don't want to say trolley, but it's not a trolley. It's a stroller.
A pram, if you will.
It's a pram. Yeah, the pram rolls over a little pile of slime, and all of a sudden,
roll the pram a lot.
I get that reference. The stroller with the baby inside rolls into traffic, then stops in the middle of, like, I think it's First Avenue.
Sure.
Oh my God, it's spooky and scary. What's going on? Oh no! And then we find the Ghostbusters are Peter's got a crazy TV show. Egon's working at a university, and Ray and Winston are kids entertainers for parties. It's really sad. And even looking back at it now, like as an adult, like, oh yeah, oh man, that
it's a bummer.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, everyone's not doing great, and then Dana's like, something happened to my kid. And something took over the stroller and drove it into traffic. So everyone's like getting back together, trying to figure out this spooky mystery. Turns out there's slime underneath the city for some reason. And Dana's working at the museum on 81st Street on the east side by the park. I think that's which one it is, right? And there's a new painting there of Vigo the Carpathian, and it's kind of spooky. And I'm immediately like, oh, that's the bad guy.
Are you keeping Dana in your fix?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay, great.
Anyways.
Yes. So there's everyone's trying to figure out what's going on, and they drill down the city. They drill down in the street to get to the river of slime that's in one of the pneumatic tubes, which is a thing that actually did exist in the city, but it was not where they were drilling. And they get a little slime sample, but in doing so, Ray accidentally knocks out power to the entire city, so they get sued. And then the judge is really angry at them, and it turns out the slime is affected by people's attitudes. And so the judge was really mean, and so the slime was all like bubbling and gurgling, and all of a sudden ghosts pop out of the slime for some reason. It's never really stated why. Then turns out these ghosts happen to be people the judge sentenced to death in an electric chair.
Yeah.
And so they then bust them ghosts, and then everyone's like, yeah, the Ghostbusters are back! And then they're back, and they bust ghosts, and try to figure out what's going on with the slime.
Because busting makes them feel good.
But, dude, busting's been is made everyone feel good since 1984. We've been busting for almost 40 years now.
Do you think you'd remember when the first movie came out if your shirt didn't say bustin' since 1984?
No, Jay, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
Because I was 5 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
So ghosts
Wait, you
are
were
back.
5 when that movie came out? Why is that?
Because I was born in 1979, Jay.
Because.
I'm in my 40s.
And.
You were like you consider that to be old?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's busting ghosts, and turns out Dana's boss is played by that actor who does a really good job. He's also Ally McBeal. It was very silly accent, and makes himself very memorable in the city or in this movie. But then gets possessed by the painting and becomes his like underling. Eventually steals Oscar because Vigo needs a baby or a human body to inhabit to come back into this realm. And then the slime eventually captures Oscar, or no, Janos eventually captures Oscar, makes him go back to the museum. It takes him back to the museum. The slime under the city then coalesces over the museum. Dana walks in just before that happens, and then it's right on New Year's Eve. And then Vigo tries to implant himself inside said baby, but the boys go to the Statue of Liberty because they realize they need a bunch of positive energy to break this negative energy. They animate the Statue of Liberty with all the positive slime they've created over some amount of time. I have no idea how much time takes place in this movie.
Lifting me higher.
It's a fun scene. They smash to the top of the building. They go down. They hose down Janos with a bunch of good slime. Vigo. They stop Vigo from popping into the baby. So Vigo pops into Ray, because that was kind of weird or whatever. They hose down Ray, and then they shoot the proton packs at the painting, and that somehow kills Vigo, and then the painting changes to a painting of the 4 Ghostbusters. It's a decent film. It's just not quite as good as the first one.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
And that's been Plot Drop. This, okay. And I think I know where the wheels kind of fell off of Ghostbusters.
Of this movie, or just Ghostbusters
Or
in
just
general?
the franchise writ large.
Sure.
Because I actually think the most recent one that came out,
Afterlife, yes.
I really liked that movie.
I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was like nostalgia bait. I also really liked it.
I thought it was.
I really liked it.
it was the right speed. It was the right combination of interesting story and funny bits. I just
There
think
was a lot of nostalgia bait in there, but like I didn't catch all of it, so I didn't. It's like I didn't think it was like remember Barry. It's like I don't remember these things, but this just seems like it's fun. I'm having a good time.
I think Ghostbusters writ large started as a funny bit, and it started as, some of our comedy royalty just trying to write a comedy movie, and they thought the concept of them hunting ghosts would be silly and fun and great and a great jumping off point for comedy.
Yes.
And then didn't fully grasp what people latched onto about that original movie. And so they didn't really know which way to go in a sequel.
Yes, because when I was watching it, I was like, okay, because it's been so long since I've seen it. I was like, I feel like what was going on is like they saw like, okay, what did people like from the first one? Well, they like the slime. Okay, we have a lot of slime in this movie.
Great.
Okay, like the ghost and the busting.
we have so much slime.
Yeah, I mean, I think they overdid it.
They
with
overdid the slime.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, okay, well, this slime was really good. The joke's really good because the comedy in this movie is really good. The sudden payoff's decent, but we need to like change things. Well, if we can just the slime's like, okay, well, we need a big. They love the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, so we have to have some. We have to have some type of big thing okay, but we can't do the same thing again. We got to do something different. But like we got to need something another
Walking
big thing.
Statue of Liberty is
Oh yeah, that's a good check.
conceptually is that's in the right realm, and I don't know why it doesn't work, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And I think you have a lot of aspects of this movie that I'm like, I don't think they really understood what we really liked about the first one, and they even gave us a bad guy in this movie that feels like a step down from where we were in that first movie.
From Gozer the Gozerian.
Like it didn't elevate the threat. No. It didn't build a through line of what's actually going on in New York. And because I think they originally wrote the first screenplay as just 4 yokels who fight ghosts.
3 guys start a business. They get so successful. They hire Winston, and then all of a sudden, and they're connecting the dots as they go. Oh, these dogs attack. Oh, the people that have they find these. Dana's like, oh, she's attractive, and Peter of course likes her, but then she's targeted by the dogs, and
that's where I thought Afterlife makes a lot of sense because it's expanding on this world that they've built. And I was like, this is awesome. Yes,
you're the gatekeeper.
Yes,
I'm the keymaster.
I want to know
joke
more
I
about
didn't
that.
get until I was almost in my 40s.
We didn't get it until we really did a reaction video to one of those trailers. Didn't fully understand really that joke at all.
Nope.
Because we were again really taken by the concept of ghost hunting.
Yes.
To a degree that
this is awesome.
It's like the audience just went in a direction that I don't think the films or the original film really wanted it to.
Yes.
And they did. I don't think they really knew how to give the goods in a second one in a way that felt satisfying as the first one.
Yeah, because I don't think they connected to why it was so successful.
Because if you watch through the first one again, there's also some little bitty side sketches and stuff that are funny bits, and I'm like, yeah, this is also kind of wildly inappropriate, and also not really fitting in what we're doing here.
Well, speaking of the one little side bit that's kind of inappropriate for this movie,
yeah.
When I was watching the sequel again, back in the habit, when they're doing the toaster scene of just hey, what we've been playing good, nice music to this thing or whatever, and it turns out positive energy that has a different effect on the slime, and Peter straight up asks Egon and Ray is hey, have you guys been intimate with this slime? And then it's awkwardly quiet, and Ray and Egon kind of look away from everybody, and Peter then gives a disparaging nod, guys. And then the scene proceeds on. And it's oh, okay, you guys slept with the slime.
Yeah.
You guys did some things with the slime you probably shouldn't have. Oh, this is the ghost blowjob scene from the first one, but just done way, way more subtly.
Yeah, and it just doesn't... Yeah,
Why?
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 And I appreciate the sentiment of what they were trying to get across this movie that hey, New York can be a positive force, and I like that. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting enough, but
the city was part of a character. Its negativity was kind of a character in the movie.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
But I just this movie, and I feel like Ghostbusters writ large, I think it's interesting enough to the degree that which they stop them from being Ghostbusters, but I feel like it's the kind of thing where I'm if this was a D&D game, I'd be talk to the DM and be hey, I feel like you're getting in the way of us doing what we want to do. I feel like you're just giving us unnecessary hurdles here to stop us from being
Ghostbusters. Well, there were 2 things looking back on it now. The fact that the movie remember how the first movie starts?
In the library.
In the library.
Yeah.
With a spooky scene.
And it's awesome.
With the librarian, and then all of a sudden we don't see the ghost, but we see her get freaked out and scared.
Yes.
And it's a scary scene. How does this movie start?
Honestly, I don't even know if I remember.
Well, I just told you in the plot drop.
Oh, that's right, with the baby.
With the baby. It's not scary.
And it's not memorable.
No.
Clearly.
Yeah. It's not the vibe is so drastically different in this movie. The first one was partially a scary film. I did not
Some
watch...
of the ghosts were scary. That librarian ghost was really spooky.
For over a decade, I always walked out of the room for that first little scene.
Yes.
I could not handle when the librarian turns and spooks the guys.
Yeah.
Could not handle it. It was too scary for me. This movie is nowhere near. There's no level of spooky, scary stuff going on.
And I would have, and I think for me, with the second movie, I would have liked to have seen a proliferation. This comes into my fix of what the Ghostbusters would have become if if they hadn't been sued into oblivion. Yada 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 yada. Like, it's the kind of thing where I'm like, sometimes like the movie logic is kind of all over the place in this movie. Of like when they're they're like, oh, so they saved the judge and all of a sudden it's fine, even though they got like there's so much legal precedent that they're not allowed to do this. Yeah. But suddenly they save the judge and he's like, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're back. Like,
it just doesn't.
Yes. I think one of the main things about the first movie, especially now that I attach to now, is that they were a small business in New York City just doing their best and finding success.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I understand this. And then like the second one is like, oh, they failed. Oh, they're on hard times. Oh, their business was taken away from them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe we went too far in resetting the board for the second film because we just waste like 20 minutes of getting the team back together.
Yeah.
When that could have been used for plot, lore, and building up the bad guy. Because all the elements of this movie don't connect.
Yeah.
Unlike the first movie where everything's driving towards the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper coming together to unlock the gate to let Gozer the Gozerian come through.
Yeah.
This movie's just like, we need a baby, and Vigo wants to come back.
Yeah.
And
who's Vigo? How's he connected to the other stuff? Not that everything has to be connected in movies. I understand that, but sometimes I'm like, you're world building here. Go nuts. Like, you can do whatever you want.
World building, go nuts. And also, the fact that there's a baby in the movie instantly decreases the threat.
Yeah.
Instantly.
For me, I just don't understand. I feel like Dana having a baby is the most convenient thing of all time. It just it feels so disconnected because it's so clearly hamstrung. Like, how do we get a baby into this movie?
Yeah.
Like, in a way that's connected to our characters.
Yeah. Now, that being said, the scenes between the guys and the baby are all
hilarious.
Adorable, and they are hilarious.
Really good.
When Peter goes, when Dana and Oscar are over at his place, which, by the way, his loft or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a nice New York place.
Yeah.
Yikes. But when they're over there, it's like, oh, can I put the baby down? She goes, yeah. And he goes, you're ugly, you're stupid, and you give your mother a really hard time. Which is only the joke I just got on this rewatch. It's like, oh, put the baby. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That's really funny. I just
and it's
got
a
it.
Very Bill Murray joke, too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that was clever as hell. Wow, it took me far too long to understand that joke, but that was really good. And Egon and Ray's interactions when they're testing him at the beginning, it's like, man, everyone does a really good job with this baby, but this baby should not be in this movie.
Yeah.
Get out of here, baby. You're ruining the movie.
Yeah.
Because, that was one of the reasons why Afterlife, I thought I enjoyed it. Because it was Goonies level, oh, these kids are in danger.
Yeah.
These kids are probably going to be fine, but also at the same time, they may not be.
Yeah,
They're actually in trouble here.
Part of the charm of the original Ghostbusters is that, they were hunting ghosts, but they were also kind of not great at it, and there was a little bit of a fumble, or there was a little bit of I want to say, there was a little bit of a razzle-dazzle to it in that they really didn't know what they were doing.
I had no idea.
There was a rambunctiousness, I think is the word. Because it was just like, oh, okay, they're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish we'd gotten a third one to kind of land the plane on this.
Sure.
Because if anything, I think the Ghostbusters being done after this movie almost does this movie more of a discredit than anything. Because I was like, this was the swan song. This is how we went out. Yeah. If this was the second out of 3 movies, I think we could have forgiven this movie a lot more.
Oh, sure.
It's like how Ultron wasn't great.
Oh.
But in the grand scope of the Avengers, it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, oh, well, this is the last time you're ever going to see the Ghostbusters. Hope you liked it. I'm like, I didn't really. And they're like, well, too bad.
I will say that I did read the synopsis of the video game, which Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, I think, passed before the game, or no, he passed right before the remake of the game came out. It got upgraded for PS4.
Sure.
But they said hey, this was the script for the third movie. We had written this, and we were trying to get this made. It just ultimately didn't work out. But this was the majority of what the third movie was gonna be.
Yeah.
And reading the plot synopsis and stuff was like, oh, like they went back and like filled in all the plot holes for the second one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, great. Yes, this is awesome. This makes complete sense now. Thank you for this. I should really play this game. It got great scores. Like solid 88s across the board. Like this is a B+ game.
I think people would watch us stream that game.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, that's great because the Ghostbusters deserve a nice little
They really do.
Nice little bow.
They really do.
That was not Afterlife. Something that was not Afterlife.
Yeah. Even though I thought Afterlife was great.
Yeah. I look forward to the next
being
one.
So mad about it.
I know.
I was like, this is, and I was like, can you just shut up and just enjoy the fact that we're getting more Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
please?
it was completely inoffensive.
Even seeing the like little stills of like them shooting downtown the next one in that, and like just seeing the kids like in the Ecto one, and I was like, yeah,
Oh, I haven't seen anything for it yet.
Oh yeah. They're like
Great.
driving the Ecto one out of the station, and I was like, yeah. The post credit sequence of that movie, I was like, oh yeah,
Yes, Winston, this is it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh, give me more.
Yes.
Oh, it's fan service. Yeah, I'm a fan, and I want to be serviced. Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
Disrespect me. That's all I ask.
Just you know, just don't look me in the eye. You know. Yeah, so I mean, everyone at home that like always gets mad about like I don't think this movie needed to be fixed. It's like I still enjoy this movie.
Oh yes,
You know?
this is a good movie. I enjoyed watching this again, but yeah, there's a couple places where you could kind of adjust it just a little bit. Just a couple of tiny little adjustments.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can get a similar story with a little bit more cohesion.
Yeah,
That's all. Yeah, this is one of those fixes. Like, hey, yeah, we like this film. We just want to make it better.
hell yeah.
With 30 years of looking back and like, oh yeah, there's a difference between writing it in the mid '80s and like looking back in the '30s. Like, okay, yeah. Oh, I think we could probably.
Exactly.
I just got to rearrange a couple things. Here we go. Also, since this is all just words and we don't have to worry about special effects,
Nothing.
paying actors.
Yeah, we can do
we
whatever
can
we
go. We can do whatever the heck we want.
Yeah, man.
So a line producer come back later and be like, we can't actually. It's like, do it in miniature. We'll
Yeah,
do it
man.
in miniature. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, welcome to the Peanut Gallery podcast, everybody, where we can do whatever we can all talk. This is the Monday morning quarterback of show business. Fix it. I think. Speaking of which, I think we should probably
We should
jump
probably
fixing
move
this thing,
into
huh?
our fixes. Because Brian's been like, make it snappy.
Yeah, I think
Go.
I'm feeling pretty snappy.
Snippity snap.
Are you feeling snippity snap?
I'm feeling snippity snap.
All right,
All right. It's been told that I'm going first.
you're going first.
I am going
and I'm not
first.
pulling any tricks. I promise.
No, I know. No.
Okay.
This is one of the ones where like,
You
oh
just-
no.
Oh, you just like I'm going first because Jay wants to go. I'm like,
Oh, no,
don't set up an expectation.
No, this is clear. I know you're not going to
I'm not
pull
screwing
something.
around with Ghostbusters.
No, me either.
I'm doing
Like,
some
no.
weird stuff, but
Oh no, we're bringing it. This
All
is
right.
one of the episodes where we're bringing it because no, this one's important to
Uh-huh.
us. Like I'm going.
Yes.
Yeah, I really mind. It's like okay, here we go. I had the board up. I had everything ready. I had all the twine connecting all the dots.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. We're starting this movie in Brooklyn on Pier 9A. It's a very spooky opening, much like the first movie. We're at the Red Hook Container Terminal. And all the containers are left open, and some of them are getting moved. And there's an inspector who just goes around and like inspects the cargo and like all the giant container cargo, truck that's on the backs of trucks and stuff. He gets spooked out, very much like the librarian scene from the first movie. It's very spooky, scary. He gets freaked out and scared. Of course, we don't see the ghosts. It just opening title card, Ghostbusters 2. Also, the logo didn't change.
yeah,
It's still just
it's
Ghostbusters.
still the Ghostbusters.
It's just the ghost. There's no
The
two coming out.
Man,
It's just
you could
the normal.
just feel the merchandising department just like really working their ass off on
We got to
that.
make it the same, but something different, so we can sell more merch.
Yeah.
Or how about we just?
How about we just like you don't screw with it.
Or
and
if
we
you
want-
do that for like the posters and stuff to sell the movie,
that's
sure.
fine, but it should.
But-
the Ecto one shouldn't have a different logo on it.
All their uniforms should not have a different logo on it. That crossed from.
Do you know how much
Marketing.
it costs to brand a small business? It's not. They don't have it in the funds to rebrand like that. Okay.
It's true.
Do you know how much it costs to get a wrap on an old like on an old timey ambulance? It's very expensive.
All right, so opening title card, Ghostbusters 2. The boys show up the next night and deal with the spooks, and in this scene we get the following information. Oh, also, it's only been 2 years since the events of the first movie.
Great.
It's 86. They are being sued by a lot of different entities for the events of the first movie. Paranormal activity is down in the city, so their resources are way lower, and they need more work. Their small business is struggling to pay the bills, and the mayor of the city still supports them. But as time goes on, that support is waning because they blew up the top of a building in Central Park West. So people are still like, they are not destitute. But they are on their way, and things are rough for them. So they catch the spooks. They get a little spooked at the same time. I'm just an idea of like a couple fishermen that drowned over 100 years ago, trying to catch fish in the East River.
Yeah.
So we can have a couple fishermen type things. We can get somebody to get hooked, on their belt or whatever, get pulled up like, it's a little spooky.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky, but nothing super crazy. So what we don't catch though in this scene is that inside one of the containers there's a glow emanating from a box, like a wooden box, like a shipping container.
Oh.
That says we see on the box marked for the Manhattan Museum.
Okay, great.
So we're going to follow this container, or this container,
So
or
like the Met.
Yeah, for the Met, or no, whatever the one on the east side is. The natural history is on the west side.
Is the Met. No, the Met's on the east side.
What's the one of the Met's on the east side?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Met, he's going for the Met.
I'm also including the Met in my fix, so that's funny.
Middle Central Park. It's the Met.
The Met.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, because visually, I'm like, I know how the layout of the Met is, and I need that. It needs to be there.
No, I just got mad for a second. I was like, well, I'm using the Met. It's like, Jay, it's one of the big. It's an obvious choice. Let it go.
Yeah. It's not natural history. It's the Met, because the Met that's where all the art stuff is.
Absolutely.
And I'm making Vigo work. So we follow the container through the city as it gets to the Met, and we see it unboxed. And as it gets unboxed, we see that we see Janosch. Same guy, same actor, but doesn't have the accent, or has a different accent that's way more serious. He's not a cartoon character. He's in charge of this exhibit. They have much like the Egyptian exhibit at the Met.
Yeah,
where you have that little Egyptian temple-y or top of a whatever they have. That little cool little statuary place.
Yeah.
They're doing one for the Carpathians.
I see.
And so we see, the thing from like stone from the box gets slotted into this monument type thing, and then we see the glow kind of, and then we just kind of follow this glow down the rocks through the basement of the building into the substructure, and just follow this kind of glow, kind of that cutaway of ground.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden we kind of see this little purple energy, whatever, coalesce into slime, and then all of a sudden just drip from the ceiling down into an abandoned tunnel underneath the building.
Cool.
So we see the beginnings of the river of slime.
Hell yeah.
Because it just kind of happened in the movie.
It almost felt unrelated to the Vigo stuff.
Yes. Yes, it was. Completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was rivers of slime behind him. Why were there rivers of slime behind him? Wasn't he a magician that...
Yes.
He wasn't a god, he was a magician. A tyrant?
Yeah.
Whatever. Also, Dana works there because... the orchestra is on. It's not the off season.
Sure,
she just works there. I wrote a reason, but I was like, she just works there. It's the off season.
The extent to which we will accept whatever circumstances you give Dana.
She just needs to be there.
She's a professional cellist.
She got a minor in art history.
We'll buy whatever she's doing.
Her friend works there.
Sure.
She got a job in the off season to help pay the bills. All because she doesn't have a kid. She doesn't have a kid in this movie.
That's the most Ghostbusters thing you've written. It's just like we are ham-fisting Dana.
Dana's here.
Yeah,
she needs to be here. A character needs to be here to help.
I'm almost like in my head rewriting my own fix just to hamstring Dana in there somewhere because I don't have time for her. I think don't get me wrong. I love Sigourney Weaver,
sure. But if she's not in the game, so she doesn't need to. If she's not there, she's not there. It's still a big deal. So it's a couple days later at the old Ghostbusters HQ, and in this scene we're seeing the extent of how bad things are right now for them.
Yeah,
like everyone's a little snippy. There's lots of bills piling up. Like they can't afford Janine. She keeps like, "Hey guys, what am I getting paid?" And they're like, and Peter's like trying to sweet talk her and like smooth talk her, and like they're trying their best. Things are not going well for the guys. They're trying to figure out like what bills to pay, and Egon's like, "We have to pay Con Ed. The containment unit cannot lose power.
Yes,
that is the first thing we're paying. Everything else is figure something out, but we pay Con Ed. Don't let the containment unit turn off, because we learned what happened in the first movie.
Yeah,
don't turn it off." Also, Lewis is there because he's an accountant or whatever, so he can help out because they're trying to figure out how to do all the things. I think they're having a hard time.
And an excuse to have more Rick Moranis, please and thank you.
Yes. So small business in trouble, lots of stress going on. Dana, because I feel like
Not unlike previewed media productions.
I wish this strike would be over. It would be great.
It would be really wonderful.
great.
Take it down the strike.
Because I mean that was what the first movie was like. Oh, they're starting a small business. This is great, and then they're like, oh, the business is just over. It's like that is less compelling than them struggling.
So less compelling.
They need to be in trouble.
I want to see the ghost. Well, yeah, I'm curious what you think of my fix because it takes it a different way. But yeah.
So Dana shows up and they talk to Peter, and we can see the relationship's in a rough patch because Dana would like Peter to kind of grow up or just be a little bit more serious about things because like they do work, but he needs to like just stop being a kid so goddamn much and just like, come on, man, take this. You're an adult. You got to take all of this a little bit more seriously. And in this scene, Dana is going to mention the Carpathian exhibit, and Egon and Ray are going to share information about how crazy the Carpathians were.
Yeah.
Just, quickly, we need to like start lore dropping of like Carpathians. Oh my god, like a lot of crazy things happened back then. Those guys were nuts. So as the stress of everything starts to boil over, Janine gets a call, and everyone's like, no, Egon, Ray, and Winston are hoping they can go bust something. Peter's just hoping it's the apocalypse so they can get paid. And it turns out it's just a call about some slime backing up into the basement of a building. And so everyone's like, oh, great. Well, let's just go handle that. And Peter's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go too. Because he's trying to get out of this fight with Dana. And they're like, no, Peter, you stay back and you just help figure out all the things that we need to figure out. We'll go handle some slime in in the basement of a building. So Egon, Ray, and Winston go to this building that's in like the Lower East Side, which is I think pretty close to where the HQ is, right? Aren't they close to Alphabet City, or are they is Ghostbusters HQ in West Village?
It's in Tribeca.
Okay, so this is across town for them.
Yeah.
It's nice, and it's kind of nice being like, oh, I know where they are in the city.
Yeah.
They drilled down on First Avenue. Oh, that's crazy. Like I know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
Cool. So they head over, and as they get out of the Act 1, like they see like a lot of people on the street. Like remember that first scene of the movie where Dana's walking down with his stroller and everyone's really angry? That scene happens now.
Yeah.
They get out of Act 1, and there's like a lot of just people are really kind of angry at each other out on the street.
And it's hard to tell it's New York because everyone's angry, but nobody's eating pizza.
Right.
So it's hard to tell. That
Jay,
it's
this
New
takes
York.
this was shot in the mid '80s. We didn't all start eating pizza at all times for every meal
That's fair.
until
You're
1990.
right. You're right. I forgot the legislation didn't pass
It
until
didn't
92.
pass until we had to start
That's
eating
right.
pizza for every
That's
meal.
right.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening,
That's right.
pizza at supper time. When do you live in New York City? It's pizza all the time.
Everyone's eating pizza. And the rich people are always wearing fanciful Beetlejuice outfits.
Yes, it's true. So they go down to they meet the super who called them, and he's kind of really being a dick.
Yeah.
They go down to the basement, and they see like there's like 6 inches of just pink slime at the bottom of this basement. Like, what's this? Clearly, like slime is coming up from under the building.
Yeah.
This is okay. How are we gonna get? We're gonna get it below the building. And they walk outside. I was like, oh wait, there's an emergency hatch for the subway that's only a block down. Have you ever noticed those? Have you ever seen those?
No.
So there are. Oh, this is so New York City lore for everybody. There are emergency hatches for the subway system strewn throughout the city. Where if the car would ever get stuck somewhere underground, there are stairs that will lead up to the street.
But where are what do they look like from above ground?
You pretty much never notice them because they're like grates, but they're just solid metal slabs in the sidewalk that will just pop open to admit people out of the subway. They're not the grates.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's
I never knew what those were.
It's a metal sheet that's right in the sidewalk that will pop up, and there's a staircase underneath them leading out of the subway.
I never knew that's what those were.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Well, you learn something new every day.
So they break into one of those and go downstairs.
Yeah.
And they make their way down, and they find themselves into the beach pneumatic tubes, and Ray can drop some lore about that stuff, even though in the real life it only happened between like 2 stops. Like I think it was in the Tribeca or further south area. And there's like in this movie, it's like there were more of them all over the place. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a piece of actual thing that happened. We can kind of gussy it up a little bit.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
Church up some real.
Yeah,
facts.
church up some real facts. Yeah, because it's fun. Why not? So they go down. They find the ooze underneath the street. And I was like, oh, okay. This is insane. Where's all? I mean, it's not like where it was in the movie, but like we've seen the beginning of like the rivers of slime beneath the city. They take a sample, and then as they are walking their way up, they sweet talk some cops to get out of arrested for going down there illegally, but also their comms start going crazy, and they're like, get back to HQ immediately. Their phones are ringing off the hook. They head back, and they're like, Lewis and Janine are taking calls because like there are ghost sightings all over the place, but Peter's got the most important one. Grand Central Station's being haunted. We got to get there now. It's also rush hour, and they are angry. They need people out of there. Head over to Grand Central Station, and I figured it's like, oh, we can just have like some workers that died digging the tunnels back in the day.
Yeah.
As just some type of ghost thing that happens at Grand Central Station. Because I figured that would be a great place for a ghost fight.
Yeah.
Would be the Grand Central Station. This would be great. So they bust the ghost, and the media is there as they come out and it's like, we're back! Like, that's the way how we do, like, their back moment.
Yeah.
They bust some ghosts at Grand Central Station in front of everybody, and finally, like, we get the montage now. Like, the business is booming. They're working really hard. It's also we're getting a sense of time, by the way, because it is the holiday season. But it's like it's November-ish right now. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. But, like, we're going to have a better sense of the timeline in this movie because it was kind of important that we end on New Year's Eve. But we just never got a sense of, like, where we were in time in the movie, which I know you hate. But, like, all of a sudden,
I didn't
like,
even notice it, but it's like, what's going... Yeah.
They're doing holiday prices, but like, wait, what time of year is it? And then they wore little Santa hats at one point, and then all of a sudden it's New Year's. When was Christmas? Like, when was American Christmas?
Well, I mean, because every universe has to have it, and it needs to be observed.
Sure, especially movies that take place in one of the most American cities in America,
1,000%.
New York City. So we get our montage of them busting ghosts and collecting slime.
Yeah,
and then the sense of time that we're moving towards the holiday season. The Rockefeller trees, coming in.
Sure.
But also we're going to see the city full of disgruntled people. Like, we're going to see people like being angry with each other. Like, as the montage as they're running through the streets, we can see people like.
Even though it's Christmas, which
even though it's
the dissonance of that, I think would even explain that even further. Yeah.
We also see some stuff of Dana working at the Carpathian exhibit as more relics and statues are being unloaded and unboxed. And then as the montage ends, of course, it's going to be a commercial in there as well because you have to have a commercial.
Yeah, it's always hilarious.
It's very nice. After the montage, we're at the museum and Dana sees the unboxing of the final statue. It's Vigo the Carpathian. Dana hates it, but Janos is like staring at it in awe. She's like, "What the heck? That is, you are creepy." Like that, not like he was in the actual movie. Like, it's just a statue. That is a weird looking. That is a strange, freaking. And we can have it in like a similar pose, but like, I think a 3-dimensional statue is a little bit more creepy and menacing than, bright, colorful painting. So we go back to Ghostbusters HQ, and the guys have their discussion about the psychosomatic slime. Same basic scene. If you're angry at the slime, it kind of makes it bubble and multiply.
You guys sleeping with the slime.
That joke is gone. But they tried positive emotions, and they make a toaster dance.
Yeah.
So Dana comes in a huff. They show her the toaster, and Dana asked Egon and Ray about Vigo. You ever heard of this, Vigo the Carpathian? And Ray drops the toaster, and then the toaster shoots its toast at him. And then everyone's like, "Wait, what? Sorry, buddy." They kind of treat him like a little bit of a pet.
Oh, that's fun.
And then Ray launches into what he knows as Egon checks the records about Vigo. We now get the lore dump of Vigo the Carpathian.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Of just basic stuff off of, it's like, oh, wait a second, I remember that guy. He was a magician, a tyrant, rivers of blood, people on spikes. Like, this guy gave Vlad Tepes a run for his money.
Whereas, like, where Ray shows his value in that he knows all of the obscure history stuff, as opposed to where Egon is, like, the science person. And Ray can help out in the science department, but he's more of the, like...
He's the lore guy.
He's the lore guy. And Peter is,
the straight man to everyone's.
Well,
he's like the businessman.
It really, if I'm being honest, going through and like really like thinking on Ghostbusters, it really bothers me to the extent to which Bill Murray just like really isn't. It doesn't bring anything to the table as for the Ghostbusters, other than I guess like making sure that they get paid more.
Yeah, he's the business.
He's the face.
He's the face.
But it still is kind of frustrating.
It is a little frustrating. I totally get you, but like he's the guy that can sell the business.
Yeah,
and he's good at it.
Sure.
So,
it's just...
I hear you.
The movie sometimes, it just makes me feel like, well, it's Bill Murray. Shut up. It's Bill Murray.
He's charming.
Of
Shut
course
your mouth.
Bill Murray's here. You can bring it up, he might go away. We don't want him to go away. What are you doing?
Stop it. So Dana tells the group that the creepy statue of Vigo is not at the Manhattan Museum, and everyone's kind of starts putting some pieces together. It's like, wait a second, that kind of would make sense. Maybe we need to look into this. Okay, great. So the next day, Dana takes the boys to the museum. They interview Janosch, who is extremely creepy, as they take measurements with all their equipment and stuff. They're getting readings off the chart. It's very similar to, this is very similar to a couple years ago.
Yes.
And as constantly being teased and ridiculed, Janosch lets something slip, and the guys then Ray's like, "Hey, Egon, remember the thing back at the HQ? We should go check the meters with the stuff and the girders on the thing." And Winston's like, "Yeah, catching on." And Peter's, of course, just poking the bear because that's what Peter does.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we need to. Yeah, Peter, we gotta. Hey, Big Ben, we gotta go. We gotta head back to. We gotta get out of here. But while he was being, constantly teased and prodded, Janosch does let something slip. He says something that catches Ray wrong and is like, "Yeah, we gotta. Okay, that was information we actually needed. Okay, we gotta." We gotta get out of here. So they go back and Egon checks some deeper, more books, more I guess the proto internet that they had sometimes on their computers, and they kind of just go into more information about Vigo. And Egon then tells Ray and Winston about Vigo's death and the threats he made about his return.
Yeah,
which is something that rang to what Ray heard, and then he's like, "Yeah, Janosch said this. He mentioned something a part of this. Guys, I think that Janosch is a part of a Carpathian cult."
Oh, whoa!
And Winston's like, "What is with these gods and their cults? Come on, first Gozer, now this." And then Egon goes, "Well, since Gozer broke through a couple years ago, if there was one place in the world you wanted to bring someone from, I don't know, the ghost world, which is what they call it in the third game, back to the mortal plane, thanks to Gozer, New York City's the place to be.
Yeah.
Because it's weakest here thanks to Gozer."
Yeah.
Thanks, Ivo Shandor. Yeah. So things are starting to add up as you're further investigating. It's you know what we need to do? We need to go back and figure out more about that slime.
Yeah.
Great. This is kind of with a little bit of lull in the action. Peter's like, you know what? Maybe I can repair my relationship with Dana a little bit since let's go out and have dinner and let's do
tapas,
the adult thing. And
yeah.
So the boys go investigate the river slime while Peter and Dana go to dinner. This time Winston doesn't get pulled in. They brought a raft. So they're going to raft down the river of slime and take measurements and readings and stuff like this. And while they're down there, just kind of going through these tunnels on a raft, they're going to notice that they're going to reach branching points in the tunnels where the slime if it was just normal liquid, it would be taking the paths of least resistance and just flowing wherever. The slime isn't. It's just going on a certain path. It's just bypassing open tunnels.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're like,
Sorry, it took me a second.
Yeah, I was like, what? That should be, why is it not? Something's weird. This is not right. Something much bigger is going on here. And they eventually do get attacked by the slime. They get pulled in. They pop out of the museum. I was like, how did we end up? We're on the Upper West. Is the slime making a circuit of the city? Oh, we gotta talk to the mayor. We gotta go get Pete. So they can similar scene to the thing, and they can interrupt the date.
Gotta buy this man a fruit basket. That's my favorite line from the first movie.
So they go to the mayor. They grab Pete and Dana. They interrupt their dinner. They go to the mayor, who the mayor is remember, still kind of on good terms with them.
I imagine they show up to that date completely
they're still covered in slime. They're still covered in slime.
Yeah, that's right.
They show up to the mayor, still, a little really glistening, but they tell the mayor what's going on. At this point, it's a very similar scene to what happened in the movie, but this time the mayor's like, it is the holiday season. I cannot tell 8 million people to stay home and not participate in the biggest economic boon for the city all year.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I just can't. Good night, gentlemen. They're like, what are we? Because there's no Jackass McGee, Walter Peck type character to interfere this time. It's just well, crap, guys. What are we gonna do? And it's at that moment where all of a sudden a ton of streets in the city are flooded with slime.
Oh, wow.
Full-on slime pours out of every crack and hole in the city, and we see streets, New York City streets, just rivers of slime flowing, just gushing through them. Like it's a natural disaster film
Yeah.
of just slime pouring down through this, and people are just like, ah! And then all of a sudden all the phones are just, like maybe they're in Gracie Mann or whatever, are just ringing off the hook. Everything's going, and they're like out the window, they're looking out the window, like just seeing like all this like, slime just travel, kind of like what just happened down below of like slime should be traveling everywhere, and it's not. It's only traveling in certain directions. And then the mayor walks back in and is like, okay, so what was that you wanted me to say? Because he needs to talk to
No,
everybody
I
now.
know.
So, meanwhile, back at the museum, the statue breaks apart with Vigo, and Vigo the Carpathian now once again walks the mortal plane.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Bum 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 bum. Also, we get as the mayor's like asking the guys what to say. We get an overhead shot of the city from like a helicopter, and we can kind of see that there's a symbol being formed
By all the goo.
by all the goo on the streets.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
So the city is descending into madness. Egon and Ray do some more research back at headquarters and theorize that the slime is affecting everybody in town, and Vigo hasn't completely crossed back over yet. We have a little bit of time before this whole process is complete.
Yeah.
But the clock is ticking. Like if we don't put a stop to this, Vigo will probably complete his voyage the voyage back to our realm in 47 hours. What time was that, Egon? Oh, it's midnight on New Year's Eve. Well, okay. Great. We got less than 2 days to figure out how to stop this whole thing. Like, there's an impenetrable wall of slime encircling part of the city. The negative energy is just radiating off of it.
Yeah.
How are we? The city's descending into madness. This is because we had up the stakes, man. The first movie was like kind of spooky, scary, whatever. But like, no, man. Now like, actual giant tubes of slime.
Or Vigo blew up all the bridges and was like, all right, well,
Yes, exactly.
this is your reckoning.
So the guys got to figure out a way to like rallying the city.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, how do we combat all this negative energy here in the city? We need a rallying cry. So instead of it's the same basic thing. Like, we need to go get the statue. The toaster. We just do the. Wait a second. Everyone will rally behind the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Let's go do that. It's just a big toaster. Well, it's a good thing we've been, using all this positive. We have all this slime. We've been using, we figured out how to make a bunch of positive slime.
Yeah.
So same thing with Lady Liberty. We get our big go get 'em Spidey moment of the city rallying behind the Statue of Liberty. But this time, Lady Liberty goes down 8th Avenue because we're going to cut across. We're going to go west to east to get to the Met.
Yeah.
Instead of just going down 5th Ave, which I believe they did in the movie.
Yeah.
So we're walking. Everyone's like, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. Yeah, we're doing. Go get them, Ghostbusters. Like,
Hell yeah.
it's the city. It's New York
man.
City
No, I
fucking
love it.
rallying behind
Yeah.
something. But like this time, it was like, yeah, New Year's Eve. It was like, no, man, the city's coming back, fighting back.
Yeah.
You just slime taking our city? Get out of here. This
Hell
isn't Slime
yeah.
Square. This is Times Square.
I love
New York
it.
City. Woo!
This isn't Slime Square, it's Times Square. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
the city
yes.
fucking rallies, and it's really awesome. And the Statue of Liberty gets up. I think it can kind of get up to the corner of 8th and 57th or 59th at Columbus Circle, where that entrance to the park is.
Yeah.
And we can have like a that's kind of where like maybe one of the kind of the corners of the slime sigil can be, and then like nothing's been able to touch it, but now like Lady Liberty is there, and everyone's like the city's rallying behind the symbol. And like the guys are able to like force it open. And this time it's not just Lady Liberty. Yeah, right. Let's right hand up.
Yeah.
It's not just she's not stuck like this.
Oh,
She
yeah.
actually like becomes fully articulate. Like let's
Yes.
have somebody in a freaking Statue of Liberty outfit and she can freaking move. Like there's a woman and she can move and do the stuff. And Lady Liberty like rips
Hell yeah.
rips this thing apart. And it was like freaking yeah! She starts walking towards the Met through Central Park.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, I'm getting psyched and ready to go.
Yeah, dude.
So Vigo sees us from the Met because remember that big, I think it's where the Egyptian exhibit is, but there's like that big glass wall where the Egyptian exhibit is. Let's just have the big Carpathian there.
north, but whatever.
Thank you. That's it. Well, we'll figure that, and then something else happens later.
Nobody knows that.
Nobody knows. It doesn't matter. Giant glass place thing, and you
Yeah.
can see Lady Liberty walking across Central Park, headed straight for him.
Hell yeah.
So he's like, Janos, you've been a magnificent. And this, oh, by the way, you can understand him. No shade or tea meant to the actor who portrayed Vigo.
It was fine.
He was, but like he's gonna talk a little bit more now. We just need to have a little bit more, just slightly more understandable.
Understand. Makes
So he uses Janosch as the basis for a giant kaiju creature to fight Lady Liberty. Because he's a magician tyrant guy, and
Yeah,
with,
man.
rivers of blood and people on pikes. Like man. And so Giannis is like, and just like grows out of the thing. And so now we're gonna have a short, sweet, and short and sweet, but also kind of funny, a little clever kaiju fight in Central Park between an animated Statue of Liberty and a kaiju'd Janosch.
Yeah.
And Lady Liberty, of course, wins. It's freaking awesome. New York City's going nannerboats crazy for the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They rappel down from the top of Lady Liberty. They fight Vigo. It doesn't go well.
Yeah.
And then Egon's realizes that, we gotta take out these monuments, or we gotta destroy this thing. This is they made a freaking. That's what they were doing. They're making a portal.
Yeah.
Okay. They were able to knock out some of the stuff. But things still aren't going well. They, the same composite of the party the last time. 2 guys with the slime stuff, 2 guys with the proton packs, and so they're able to knock out some of the monuments. But like Vigo's like mostly here, and he's crazy powerful.
Yeah.
So they call
He's
in
got a
backup.
big old forehead.
He has a big old forehead.
Yeah, man.
So they call in backup as they're knocking down the monuments and stuff like that. Vigo has a little bit of a monologue before.
And we understand like why actually Vigo wants to come back and what the whole point of it all is, and it's not just
because.
Yeah.
There's reasons, and he has plans, and this is for thank you.
and link it to Gozer. Why not?
Yeah, this was the perfect time to come back. Gozer led the way.
Yeah.
And since you guys were, thank
Yeah.
you for being here. You're the only thing that could stop me. You pitiful humans and your science. You don't know nothing of the true science.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. So they're trying all their best. They knocked the monument down or whatever, but it just doesn't matter because like it's mostly already over. We're striking midnight. Everyone's singing Kumbaya. It's all great now, but like he's freaking here. But thankfully they called in backup when they kind of dropped in and realized they're a little outmatched. And all of a sudden, coming through Central Park is Ecto 1 being driven by Dana, and on
fun!
the top of the car because remember there is a freaking
I know. Yeah.
Lewis.
Hell yeah.
It's strapped in. I was like, I'm here, guys. As we know from Die Hard 3, driving through Central Park, not easy and a little crazy. But they were able to... Completely insane. But Dana's a New Yorker. She freaking pulls it off.
Let's do it.
They're able to pull up, and everyone combined, with their powers combined, we got good positive slime.
Yeah.
We got 2 proton packs, and then the cannon from Ecto 1 all pull up and combine on this guy and knock him out of the building into Central Park. Right?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Everyone's like, yeah, we did it. And then he stands up. And he's like, you think you stopped me? This is only... I'm here. It worked. I now walk... The Statue of Liberty just smushes him. Just goo. Just everywhere.
Excellent.
And then everyone's like... And Lady Liberty's like... because she's like because remember the toaster acted on of its own accord. So I'm having Lady Liberty also act a little of her own accord.
Yes,
she's kind of a character. She's kind of alive right now. She's like, good job, guys. Like, she doesn't talk, but
No, I like it.
Thumbs up. Like, yeah.
Or the peace sign.
The peace sign. Yeah.
From the poster.
Yeah. There you go.
Ghostbusters 2.
So everyone's like, I think we won. Hey, we did it! Good job, team! Like, woo, Lois, I'm a Ghostbuster! So everything works out at the end. Yay!
I also really like the idea that the slime kind of immediately runs out, and then there's the Statue of Liberty is just in Central Park now. That's one thing that always bothered me. I was like, how do they get it back?
I think that's yes. So yeah, as Vigo gets destroyed and splatted, the sigil just kind of like, right? Just everything kind of, and the Statue of Liberty just kind of like, oh, yeah, and is now in Central Park.
Well,
they'll figure that out later. That's great. No, that's fantastic. It's gonna be there a while. They gotta figure how do we
well, it's still in New York, right?
That works for now. Well, that's the important thing is okay. So it's a couple weeks later. The city is now healing. The boys.
No, you know what the joke is?
What?
I think it's Bill Murray looks up and goes, no one likes the fairy anyways.
yeah. It's true. All right, so it is a couple weeks later. The city is healing. The boys have become city contractors.
Yeah.
Which is what happens in the game. It's like, oh, we became city contractors after the. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we can just.
They need to become like firemen.
Yes, exactly. They become firemen for the city. So all their bills are paid for. Their legal issues are gone. So like they're no longer a small business. They're contractors of the city now because this is a thing that's probably going to keep happening.
Yes.
So they are here now to help the city. And as everything kind of works out, Peter and Dana are all right. The business seems to be all right. They're not like everyone's happy. It's good. We've figured everything out.
Yeah.
And at the end, we're just gonna kind of go down. As everything's busy, then they go down they got another call, and everyone's going down the fireman's pole and like getting ready. And it's like a good hero shot of the guys like about to go out and do a thing. The camera deal passes them, goes downstairs, and past the containment unit, which I think maybe can be a little bit more like the cartoon that came out after the first movie but before the second movie, so we can kind of model that bigger off of the cartoon on a shelf through multiple layers of clear container, like like a jar in a jar in a jar in a jar. Does that make sense? Like a Russian nesting doll.
Totally
with like
understand. Yes.
Glass dolls. There is a jar full of pink slime surrounded by teddy bears. And a lot of handwritten notes by kids saying, "Thanks, Ghostbusters, you're the best. We love you guys, blah, blah, blah." And on a tape-written note just taped on the front of the glass, it just says, "Vigo."
That's great.
Ghostbusters 2.
That's great, man. Any post-credits?
No. Well, this
No.
is the 80s.
We
we
didn't
didn't have
do
it back
that.
then.
We didn't do that. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's Ghostbusters 2.
Then a song comes on that's kind of partially a rap that explains everything that
Yeah,
just
man.
happened in the movie.
Wicked Wild Ghostbusters. Yeah. Because we ain't afraid of no ghosts.
We are not afraid of no ghosts. I was
great,
afraid
man.
of ghosts for a while, but not anymore.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So Vigo could have worked. We just needed
Vigo
more.
could have worked.
We just needed more. We needed less baby, so we have more screen time. Or
And
at
the
least more stuff.
ramifications of what happened with ghosts are having that being the justification for the Ghostbusters needing to stick around, because like, hey, like we may not every city needs Ghostbusters, but New York needs Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Gozerians made sure that happened by building that building.
Yes.
And weakening the I don't know, the barrier between worlds.
Uh-huh.
Like this city is infested with paranormal activity because of them.
Because
We don't know how to heal it, but like we're here to handle it.
Yeah. We're just like, we're crisis control.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's actually very similar to what am I fix?
Awesome.
All right. Okay.
All right, Jay, fix it.
Okay. So, my fix. We open up on we're getting the like full on textbook Ghostbusters intro.
Sure.
We see we get a full montage of Busters they're now wearing red suits.
Oh.
Red onesies, but we're not seeing any faces, and we're just seeing like Ghostbusters, and all of their equipment kind of looks like nicer and like updated since the first one.
Okay.
Like, it looks like the Ghostbusters have had like a pretty significant glow up.
Sure.
And we're seeing like a full on ghost hunt.
Sure.
In like an old hotel,
Uh-huh.
a la like Ghostbusters
Right.
1. And we see a ghost in the ballroom
Mm-hmm.
finally get trapped by 3 protons, and like pretty expertly so.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the final shot of like the last proton beam like ignite to capture the thing, and then we hear a voice we've never heard before say, "It's time to bust this thing, you guys." And the camera pans up to John Candy.
Yeah.
John Candy.
Uh-huh.
And the shot pans around.
Yeah.
And we see a young who would have been the right age and would have been in his first season of Saturday Night Live at this point. We see a young Dana Carvey.
Oh, that's right.
And then the camera pans around further, and then we see who would have been fresh off of a huge amount of success, a young Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
And they do not have the Ghostbusters logo on their outfits.
Right.
They are ecto-sterminators. It is like a little bit more of like a corporate branding.
Yeah.
It is like aggressive, and they like take care of the thing.
Yeah.
And they capture the ghost.
Yeah.
And they are walking out of the building. Just as they are walking out of the building, like taking care of the business, the Ecto-1 pulls up, and it looks like absolute garbage.
Oh wait,
The
But
Ecto-1 pulls up, and Ray and Winston get out, and they were kind of wearing their stuff, but they don't have their proton packs, and they just have like some other stuff that like they you know,
readers and monitors.
yeah,
and stuff.
They have like all their other stuff, but no proton packs. And we see like we see cops on the scene, and the person who owns the building is like taking care of the contract with the ecto-exterminators, and the police are like, "You guys know you don't have a license in this city to capture ghosts anymore. Like, you guys have to get out of here."
Oh, I thought you were doing like a movie spoof or something. Like,
No,
like
no,
they're
no,
watching
no.
a TV show about their
No.
exploits, and they're like pissed
No.
off. Oh my god.
No.
Oh!
No, these are different. These are like a different Ghostbuster company, because
Oh,
the
that's-
Ghostbusters have lost. He was like, they lost their bidding war. Like, basically, like they were in such hot water after the whole
After the
incident that they weren't able to afford to. Basically, the city government went with a different company.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, you guys aren't licensed to
Yep.
carry proton packs in this city."
Yep.
Like the Ecto-Exterminators got the license. Like, you guys aren't like.
Wow.
You guys are not licensed. You don't.
They
You
got
don't have
edged
the.
out of their own business
Yes.
that they made.
Yeah, they're like, that is our proprietary
Proprietary
information.
Yep.
Like, we're here to like you guys can't be using our proton packs like Egon. Then they say Eon Spangler like invented that, and John Candy turns around and is like, "Well, then where is he?" And they're like, "We don't know."
Ooh, mystery. Ooh, okay.
And so Ray and Winston go back to their like crappy apartment. I like to think that they still have the
Firehouse?
the firehouse, but it's like clearly it's like in bad disrepair.
Yeah.
Like it's like been condemned.
Oh.
Like, it's not great. And there is a message on the there is a message on the their machine.
Yep.
Man, if I could have an answering machine with a tape system,
Really?
then I could have a landline at my home and people could just call and like leave funny messages. That would make me so
okay.
happy.
Oh.
It's not a thing anymore,
It's
unfortunately.
really, truly not.
Anyways, they have a message on their line from Peter that says, "Hey, I think I got a hint as to where Egon went. Apparently he was working out of the Met. And they have called asking for our assistance. If you can meet me at the Met tomorrow." So the three of them meet at the Met, and they are met by
The man at the Met?
Yes, they are met at the Met. They are well met. The head of the museum meets them, and it is Martin Short.
Ah,
Yes.
all right.
We're just, dude, if they want to make it a comedy,
everybody.
pack it.
Yep, let's go.
Let's get Eddie
Everybody's
Murphy.
in.
Let's get
Everybody's in.
everybody in
Yep.
this movie. Who doesn't want to be in Ghostbusters, dude? Martin Short meets them, and they realize that Egon had for a long time before he disappeared was working on the Gozerian exhibit for the Met.
Whoa!
And so he was he had already had done a lot of research into like doing a presentation for the Met on all the Gozerians in New York,
Yeah,
what they were going after and things like that. And so they start going through a lot of his notes and what like everything that they were showing, and we find out that like Gozer the Gozerian like had a lot more followers than just what's his name in the building, Ivo Shandor. And they were working towards basically achieving eternal life.
Whoa!
They were achieving like eternal life in like basically you possessing new bodies with their ghosts.
Makes sense.
And they're like, "Hey, like we can't really help you. Like we don't really know like where Egon went." but we learn about that, like, the realm between the ghost space and the ghost world is really thin in New York. And like the like Gozer crossing over, like the ghost realm was like starting to like cross over a little bit, and Ray is like, we need to, like, there's so much research here, like we need to take this back and like start working on this. And Pete's like, I can't even. And they're like, no, we got a bigger problem. Someone is using our is using our info. Like, you need to go talk to these people. And if we can even just get a little funding from them renting the tech, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
So Peter shows up to the Ecto-Terminator's location.
He's got to be the face. He's got to, yeah.
And we find out that the lead of the person in charge of the Ecto-Terminators is Lewis. He's the one that, like, because he was technically there that night.
Yes.
He like was kind of privy to what was going on.
Right.
And so
Even though he was a dog.
Yeah, he was a dog, and he weaseled his way into getting the license and procuring the information that he needed in order to build proton packs. And they're like, but it gets to a point where the conversation like is really funny and silly and blah blah blah, and it gets to a point where we get from Lewis that like it gets really serious.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I was there that night. You have no idea what like I was turned into a dog by Gozer. Do you have any idea what I saw when I was transformed? The dog was there. I wasn't there. He was like, I just slipped into this separate dimension.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I wasn't there. I just slipped into this second dimension. And he was like, do you have any idea what I saw there? I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that never happens again. He was like,
yeah, man.
If I have to spearhead this whole thing, like, so be it. But you guys made yourself put a target on your back, and someone had to step in and take care of business. And I actually know what I'm doing. Like, the ghost world is nothing to be trifled with. And that, like, Peter's like, well, okay. And he was like, you should ask Dana. And he's like, oh, she doesn't really talk to me anymore. And he's like, I wonder why. And so he's like, if you don't mind, like, we've got business to take care of. And I like the idea that he actually packs up to go out, and that like there's a call.
Sure.
and they get going. And I think in order to like kind of Peter's like kind of weirded out by them, and he kind of tails them to like go see what they're up to. Cut back to Ray and Winston.
Is he getting the Peter tingles from him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's Spider-Man in this one. Yeah, this is all Spider-Verse, which is all the Morphin Grid. You know, it's how it works.
How it works.
So that's kind of like we're kind of moving into like Act 2 here,
Right.
And then eventually, it gets to a point where they start to, Ray and Winston are like starting to like unravel Egon's a lot of his like research and work into Gozer, and they set up like a similar field to like what the specifications of the building from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
And they are able to after Peter shows back up and was like, hey, like, it fills them in, they are able to like set up mini versions of the architecture and like the field that it created, and they are able to basically swap items into the ghost world. And like, I just for posterity's sake, maybe it's a toaster.
It's a toaster, yeah.
And they like swap a toaster over, and then like a ghost toaster comes out, and it's got like weird teeth.
A ghoster?
Like a ghoster, yes, indeed. Yeah, and there's lots of ghost jokes. And then they finally figure out they get a call on the Ghostbuster line, specifically calling for them. And they're like, but like, we're not licensed anymore. You know that. And they're like, this is the mayor's office. Like, it is seriously going down at the Battery right now.
Oh.
The Ecto-Terminators basically have been, they turn on the TV, and the Ecto-Terminators have been fighting a ghost down near the Battery, like in a building there.
Right.
And then something happens where they see on live TV where the full building like swaps. Like we get basically like a old, they're like, the architecture of this building hasn't been seen in this area of New York since like the 1800s. Like, and the exterminators, it doesn't seem like they're there anymore, but seems like it's fine. And like the exterminators are gone.
Yeah.
But the building is not right.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, guys, this is like, we got to go find Egon like now. I think like Ray's like, I think he's on the other side. So they head back to the Met. They have to sneak their way in. And it comes like, I think they like kind of follow what he was doing and like going through all of like the stuff that's like being put up in this exhibit.
Sure.
And they like eventually like find their way to like a similar portal that's been built. And it's basically they are confronted by Martin Short. And we find out that through like a very funny monologue of his, that like he is a follow of Gozer, and it's like,
Martin Short, no!
Like,
Jiminy Glick, what are you doing?
He was like, I wanted you guys to take care of this before the Met Gala, but I was like, I have a lot of friends that are gonna want some very fabulous bodies, and so I'm gonna need I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and get out of the way. The ecto-exterminators were easy enough, but you guys just won't go away. And then he activates the portal, and they're kind of like fighting him a little bit. And I imagine some of the, in the true Met fashion, like some of the pieces of armor come to life, and they're like fighting and whatnot. And I imagine Ray has like a brilliant idea. He's like, you know what? We got to go, you guys. And he just dives through. And they all dive through into the ghost realm, and they're basically like in a ghost version of the Met, and are being chased by all of the monster versions of things.
Spooky!
Yeah, in the ghost version of the Met, and they peel out of the ghost version of the Met, and Spangler pulls up in a ghost version of the Ecto-1, and is like, hop in, guys, we gotta go. And so there's like a bad, think of the toys, man, like a spookier Ecto-1 with like an even like and they're just like tearing around ghost New York, like, you know what I mean, like, and just being like, and seeing like all the amount of bits you can do is also really funny. Just ghost New York. And they head down. He's like, hey, like, I've been holed up here, but also I figured like there's a lot of research I could do with this space. And he's like, the amount of things that like we can do with like, he's like, what humans can do in this space, like we can kind of harness the power of the spirit realm and like make whatever we want happen here. Like we're not bound by a lot of aspects of physics. He was like, it was crazy easy to build proton packs here, and they get like full on like ghost versions of proton packs, like, and we're talking like full on ghost mode Ghostbusters. And they eventually loop up with the ecto-exterminators.
Sure.
They get equipped as well, so we got like more Ghostbusters. Like they're all in one team, and but also like you get John Candy, you get Eddie Murphy, and you get Dana Carvey. It's just like, this is just magic.
It's a murderous row over here.
Because you have two other veteran comedians, and then you have the new blood of Dana Carvey who's on his way up. It's perfect. Just more ghosts. Who doesn't want more Ghostbusters doing Ghostbusters?
Everyone wants more Ghostbusters. We need more Ghostbusters.
So the Met Gala, as this is happening, they're like, he's going to attack the Met Gala. He's like, all of these like Gozerians are going to like inhabit the bodies of all of these people, and then like they're going to merge these two realms. Like, we have to stop this.
Using the Met Gala as a plot point, is genius.
Oh, thank you.
That's really, really good.
I don't even know if the Met Gala existed at that point.
Shut up, it does.
But
I don't know.
Sure.
Why not? Did it? I don't remember. But it's good. It's very good.
So I think they find their way out of the ghost realm, but like they're cruising through New York in like a spooky ass Ecto-1. But I like the idea that like it's still Ghostbusters. And so like the cops are chasing them now too, because they're like, hey, like this isn't, and they're like, no, we gotta get to the Met Gala. So you have like Ghostbusters like bailing on the cops or whatever.
Sure.
And they get to the Met Gala. But I think by this point, Martin Short has already kind of achieved what he's wanted to do, and much similar to the second one, there's like a full-on dome of like just bad energy and juju covering the top of the Met.
So all these influential
people are trapped inside. They're like, we got to save all these people, and we got to bust these ghosts. And Egon's like, I think I have a situation, or he's like, I think I know what we can do. He has like, and adding to their tech.
Sure.
Much like how I thought the goo was actually kind of fun because
Yeah.
gave him a new tool. He was like, I can set up this field and we can access the ghosts to New York, and we can build ourselves something to get through this. This spirit.
Ectoplasmic,
Yeah.
bad energy, yeah.
And because I think that's a really fun thing to be able to tap into. And also, I think you can expand this world a little bit and like what the third one would look like. It's like if we have access to this ghost world, it's like, are we building a better relationship with all these ghosts? We can just set them free back into the ghost world and still the containment thing.
Are you sure you didn't read any plots about the game?
No, I really didn't. Is this a lot of it?
No, but you are kind of setting up exactly into the third one.
Oh, okay.
Almost like,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, but
Oh, yeah.
so they're.
Yeah, I think we need to play this game, dude.
They are like, he's like, we just have to like, he's like, I'm gonna open up this rift, and like we just have to wait for enough like ghost energy to kind of build in here, and then we can kind of like use that energy that like the ectomancy like can kind of make anything.
Ectomancy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I really like the idea of like it finally gets to the top, and Peter just goes to Egon and is like, so what can we make with this? And Egon's like, well anything, just like you can think of whatever. And Ray just goes, oh
no!
man. And another Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I just imagine Bill Murray just being like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Right? It doesn't. What are you doing? Another Stay Puft Marshmallow Man bursts out of the thing and busts. I just think because no one would be expecting it again.
Nope. And that's a great way of doing the same bit.
Like, are you? We have this. This is going to become our brand now. Like, this is not. Maybe we shouldn't be allowed to do this. But then, like, he busts on the wall and then just kind of like hangs out, and he's like a friend now. So he's just like, all right,
It's a good Stay Puft. Yeah.
He's like leans up against the building. I just think, like, beans.
Oh, beans. Oops, our marshmallows.
Yeah. So we see the all of our Ghostbusters go in, and they basically like all of the ghosts are swirling. So we got like all of our new Ghostbusters, our old Ghostbusters are all taken care of. We get a full montage of them taking out all the ghosts and all of the spirits of like the Gozerian ghosts, like trying to inhabit these bodies. We can see a who's who of famous people from the 80s.
A lot of cameos.
Ton of cameos.
Fun cameos. Who wouldn't want to be in a Ghostbusters
Who
film?
wouldn't want to be in? You could get so many good cameos. Who wouldn't want to be in a Ghostbusters?
Yeah, come by
movie?
for the afternoon. It'd be really fun.
And they
Get
finally.
slimed. It'd be fun.
We finally like corner Martin Short's character, and we see him kind of like as like the portal has like been open for a while, like he's slowly like transforming into, he's like, like Gozer is my sister, and like he's like kind of the trick. He's like, we're gonna we have so many siblings and so many friends, and like our realm is meant to rule yours, and we will take it eventually. He's like, if you beat me here, that's fine, but there will be more.
You've only prolonged
Like
this. Yeah.
New York, like Gozer was merely the trumpet bearer. Like this city will be ours eventually. Like, and it solidifies. And then they have a huge epic fight. And then he is defeated, And then Martin Short's like, I can't remember he's been, or he's been teleported to the.
Yeah.
Oh, that could actually be good, if like they ran into him. Oh, yeah.
Wait, we're calling an audible.
No, that could actually be good.
Okay.
That could actually be really good.
Rewind a little bit.
Oh, if when they go through the portal, they run into another Martin Short and kind of grab him, and he's the one that fills them in the ghost realm as to what's going on. That's not bad.
Like the actual human Martin
Because he
Short?
because he's like, because we set up,
was trapped.
we set up with Lewis that they've been swapped. That would actually be pretty good. Mm-hmm. And he's defeated. And if we've learned anything, that like New York is like in even more trouble than it ever was.
Yeah.
And then the Ghostbusters, it's like, cool, we have new members, but also like, hey, we would. I like the idea of them having to, like, the end of the movie is them having to, like,
because Lewis was there the entire time, right? He was at the
yes.
call when it got
Lewis
swapped.
being like, well, okay, like, maybe we can do a little rebrand, you guys. Like, maybe we can work this out. Because clearly, like, we need the city needs Ghostbusters, and Ecto-Exterminators really sucks. Yeah,
it's not great. It doesn't flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the end of my Ghostbusters, and it sets up that you can have. It sets up a third for the Stay Puft Marshmallow joke. I don't know how you'd do it, but if in the third movie it happened a third time, it just nah.
Comedy comes in threes, Jace.
Yeah. So that's my Ghostbusters 2. I don't know. I just had fun with it.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I guess it's clearly close to the video game. So
there was a lot of
honestly,
it's pretty close to the video game.
I just really wanted to set up a circumstance in which we could have Stay Puft them accidentally summon a huge Stay Puft Marshmallow Man again. Yeah, it's working for us this time, but still, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Ray!
Like, oh no. Or like he accidentally stepped on the go, but I don't know how you do it, but yeah.
Awesome job, dude.
Woo!
Damn, this was a fun episode.
This was fun. Yeah, I love Ghostbusters.
I love Ghostbusters.
I love them so much. I just wanted to like this movie more than I did, but
yeah.
It's also it just what is Peter's job? What is Peter's job?
So Peter,
other than just kind of being a dick to everybody, he's just kind of mean to everyone, even his own friends.
Tell me, what is it that you do here?
Because like we don't like I am Ray and you are Egon.
Yes.
Yes. But we don't have a Peter. I don't know what we would do with a Peter.
I don't know.
Well, we did it, buddy.
We did do it, bud.
What's next week's episode?
Because it's still October when we are recording the next episode, which is one more spooky movie. Or we're doing the New Mutants.
Oh, the New Mutants. That's right.
It was
the
supposed
Marvel
to be
horror movie,
a scary mutant movie.
Oh boy,
it was not.
I haven't seen it. So I'm excited. That'll be a fun watch along.
That poor movie. A lot of really good people in that movie, but boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
The reshoots, all the things.
If you're listening to this on Tuesday and you'd like to come, we're not going to do the watch along on Wednesday because.
Oh wait, no, this movie comes out. Wait, that episode. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's going to drop the night of Halloween.
Oh, fun. That's fun.
Oh wait, Halloween is next Tuesday. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Halloween's episode is the New Mutants.
Hell yeah.
I know. Brian, of course, knew that. We are now just realizing what's going on. Man. Good job, Brian. You're the one that planned this. You did a good job, bud.
Yeah. If you want to go to the watch along, hop on the Discord. There'll be details.
We got to find it. The New Mutants. Oh, boy.
Well, we did it, man.
We did do it. Hot damn. Oh, this is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This is good.
Yeah. Whew. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. If you're listening to this wherever you catch your podcast, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a quick review, maybe 5 stars. I like reading them. They're really fun. And they also really help the show. I really appreciate it. I'm really jazzed about this. After we're done, I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for everyone to hear this episode. As we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
I guess it's the positive slime that you didn't see coming. Would someone please hose this man down, please?
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.